if they break down their hourly, they're like worth $5,000 an hour. And so the moment right now, they're spending sometimes 5 hours a week. And so that's $25,000 a week that they're wasting on this, not to talk about all the potential signups that they could be getting with better ads. And so you're telling them the return that they're getting is money and time. And so if they truly believe that they're getting that, you're saving money and you're saving time, they truly believe that the outcome is something they want. What is the outcome? It's not that they will make $50,000. It's not that they'll make 100K. The outcome has to be what they will do with the 100K, who they will become when they're making 100K per month. Right? So there's 4 things, and you've heard this before, but you need that $25,000 to have a good outcome. And the hint, by the way, is it's a better future. You need it to be a high likelihood of success. So you have to have a ton of testimonials and social proof and screenshots of all these people that you've changed their life. So they go, if Lotfi helped this company and they were only doing 10K and he got him to 60K, and he's helped this other company like Bashar go from this to this, even if he does half as good for me, I'll still make the 2x return. So they need a high likelihood of success. The third thing they need is they need to do it in less time. So you have to show them that you're returning their time. And the fourth thing they need to do is they need to do it in less effort. So you have to show them that either you're holding their hand or you're walking them through everything or you're teaching all this stuff so they don't have to go through all the time and the effort of trying it themselves. And so if you have those 4 ingredients with all those testimonials and you sell a future, you'll be able to sell the 25K all day long.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like, I think with me, like, I mean, results-wise, people get results. It's very easy with ads as well, especially if they're in the right spot. It's super easy. 25K is nothing, right? Because they make every client makes much more than that. Plus, they make it monthly as well.
Just show that. If that's the truth, just get those screenshots or testimonials, get 15 of them. And the way you just said it sounded so confident. Like if you just show them, because they're not going to trust you right away. Of course, they're going to say that you're trying to get 25K. But if you just show them all the screenshots, and it's just like, sincerely, my goal at this point isn't whether or not I can get your return. Because I've done it so many times, I know I can get you a return. My point where I'm at right now with my business is to find companies that I want to help get a return. Because if I feel like you are aligned and you have a good product, I want to help get more people, get more eyes on your product. So a good question that I wanted to ask you, Johnny, is just like, why are you even doing this anyways? Like, what's the whole reason you built this company? I'd love to hear it. And so it's almost like they have to qualify now and be accepted to be one of your clients at that point.
Yeah.
And that's what the frame is at Marcel. Have you heard of Marcel Klein?
I've seen them, yeah.
Talked to him yesterday, and he has like a sales team at his house now. And he says they're closing at like 80% for these high ticket stuff. And they're closing 80% all because of the frame. What is the frame? The frame is, why do you deserve to work with me? Help me understand why I should accept you so you can pay me $50,000. It's like, so now these people are like trying to prove, like, because I'm committed. I know I'll listen. I'll show up to every day. Like, they're trying to beg Marcel about why they deserve to be his client because he's setting that frame. Like, they're almost applying to be part of his frame.
Yeah. Questions. So because I have 53 clients in my 6K off, and a lot of them have even paid more because they were like part of my agency. So the lowest is like 3 to 6K, and some of them even monthly. But because I've stopped that program, so I'm thinking, like, in terms of upselling them into this kind of new one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any thoughts on that? Like, what? Because the thing is, I'll be completely honest, because some clients, because obviously that's the reason I stopped it, was because given so many people support, it got a bit overwhelming, which is why now I only want to take on 2 people a month at this price point. Whereas previously, it's just people just needed more attention, which I couldn't really give.
Yeah.
So that's the reason I stopped it. That's why I have this one, right? So any thoughts on that, on the getting them into a new one?
Yeah, the upsell, the it has to be you're adding on to it, right? And so the only time a dog will bite you is if you take its bone away. And so if the dog feels like you just said, okay, nothing changes, but you have to pay more, they're going to be mad. You know what I mean? And so you have to show them all the different things that they're going to get, all the new things that you're going to do differently. The new approach that you figured out works really well. And it's some of these things like you could just say, I'm really lucky to have different mentors and coaches and just be able to see the insides of hundreds of different companies now, because now I see what works and what doesn't. And the truth is, I have been able to see which companies have the potential to go really far. And I know now which companies just aren't going to ever make it. They need the team, they need the product, they need a lot of moving parts. Because I know which companies have the potential, what I'm just doing now is just focusing on my top 10% customers, and I'm helping them get 10x results instead of working with hundreds of customers and only getting them 10% results. And so the good news is you're one of those companies. I truly believe we can go a lot farther with you if you get a little bit more one-on-one. And so I wanted to see if you kind of potentially could qualify for my next program. Of course, we got to ask each other some questions, but would you be open to hearing about what that program looks like? I think it could be really, really helpful for you. So now it's like they pass the test. They get on a call because of who they are, because you think there's a potential that they could be part of this bigger program. And that makes them feel lucky that they're even on that conversation with you. And then from there, all you have to do is show them how the 25K is the path to get them to where they want to go.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's amazing. What are your thoughts on that? I was gonna say one more thing. Different this and that. Okay. How do you go about yeah. So in terms of pricing, obviously you leave it till the core, right? Like you don't mention anywhere else until you've built up the value. Is that kind of
Correct?
okay?
Yeah, no one's gonna look for no one's gonna want to show up to the call if they know it's 25K. And so you just can't do it. Because the perceived value isn't there yet. You have to ask questions first so that they get emotional before you tell them the price.
Got it. So because I was thinking of doing the opposite, where I was just like, just tell everyone what it is, because I feel like that has an advantage of just at least people know what they can kind of prepare if they actually don't have like the cash ready and whatnot. But what do you
They're not going to. I mean, you can, but the truth is, you're hoping for a transaction. You're hoping people just want to sign up already. That's why they're getting on the call at that point, and you could have easy sales calls. But it's not transactional, right? It should be transformational. So you really have to help change their identity to realize that their success has led them to this point where they have the opportunity to get one-on-one attention for you. Their success led them to this opportunity. And it's a situation where everyone wins, except we just win bigger now. We both win bigger now. So that's really the frame that you're setting. If not, if you just say it's 25K, maybe a third of them don't even want to get on the call. And so you're like, okay, these other 2/3 that are going to get on the call are going to be sold. But maybe at that point, you've lost all these potential buyers that would have signed up.
Totally with you.
If I sent the application to that guy I told you who was having a bad day, Steve, who paid 30K, and that application said, hey, you have to pay 30K, hop on this call with me. He was having a bad day. He just got people refunded. His clients got declined, and his girlfriend's yelling at him. He's losing money and he's in a bad spot. He would have canceled the call. And I would have never signed him up, right? But because I got him on the call, I changed his mindset and then walked him through the logic chain. He paid 30K even though he was having a bad day.
Yeah. in terms of hiring the program coach, because I am my goal, because my thing is I'm actually going to be building a software company. Like I'm actually getting like this whole new domain set up and everything. So it's all going to be under like that. Everything is going to be under that brand. So that's why I'm going to be hiring people. So one of the first one I'm thinking about is like the program coach, someone that can actually do one-on-one coaching, and someone that I can coach as well at the same time. But I can also help coach the clients and eventually like do the majority of it. And obviously I'm also going to be wanting to hire a sales rep and whatnot. But what are your thoughts on that, on the hiring side?
I would always outsource. I always look at three things on a column when I do business coaching, like I'm doing right now with you, one-on-one. I help all my clients put all their things in three columns. Column number one, what does Lotfi have to do? Column number two, what can Lotfi automate? And column number three, what can Lotfi outsource? And then we break up everything into $10 an hour job, $100 an hour job, and $1,000 an hour jobs. And then we figure out, how can we only have Lotfi on the $1,000 an hour jobs, which is this, like you and I right now, this is worth $1,000, like $1,000 an hour or more for this conversation. Only you can have this conversation with me. But like, sending something like emails or support, you can outsource that, right? So you should definitely look at those things now, even if it's not the right time, and figure out, all right, what's my purpose of my company? What's the mission? That's step one, purpose. Step two, what's the plan? Like, how am I going to get to my mission? Well, I need this amount of money, I need this amount of things. Step three, what are the people that I need? Well, I'm going to need a support person. I'm going to need a coach for me. I'm going to need an ad person. I'm going to need a media buyer. I need a copywriter. Like, what are the people you need? So you have purpose, you have plans, you have people, and then you have performance. What do I need next? What do each of those people have to do? I need my ads to be at this cost per lead. I need my salesperson to be at this percentage of a close rate. I need my price point to be here. So you need performance. And all of that leads to the final of the 5 Ps, which is profit. And then you have profit. And then once you have that company and you know all the people, the performance, everything in place, you look at the different gears and you go, okay, how can I charge my clients more often? How can I charge my clients more money? And how can I get more clients? Right. And then you look at changing each of those gears. So that's really the game. But the answer is yes, you should probably always, whatever you're doing, you should have an SOP so that when you're ready, you can hire someone to do it for you.
Got it. But something like program, because especially with what is very specific, like even if I hire someone, I'm going to have to like coach them for quite a while, and they're going to have to go through my training and some other training, to really get to that level where
Correct.
they can, actually coach my clients, because it's not an easy job.
Nope.
So like, yeah.
So the question becomes, do you want to do that forever? And are you stuck? That means you can't scale if you can't hire someone to do this for you. So there's two questions then. Either it's not possible, or Lotfi doesn't currently have the skills to teach someone to do what he does. So that means you have to develop the skill to teach people to do what you do. You have to write a SOP to do all those things. Or the alternative is you're stuck and you can never get past these, 30 to 100K months or whatever it is that you're currently doing, whatever it is, right? There's a scalable issue. So you have to be able to duplicate parts of yourself, not all of you, but parts of yourself, so that you can get to this next level, Right. So writing out SOPs, what's the exact thing that you do daily? How do you do it? How do you handle problems? What do you look for when you set someone up? What type of things are the things that are pitfalls for your clients who have success, and the pitfalls for the clients who have failures? Like, write it all out. Learn what you do on paper, teach what you do on paper, and then you could teach it to someone else. And yes, it'll take time, but it's a skill that you'll need if you want to scale,
Totally with you.
My companies, my gyms have managers at each of the locations that run the whole gyms. They have sales managers that teach the salespeople for me now. I don't even need to teach sales to my salespeople, because there's salespeople teach sales to sales, we had over 70 different employees, and so this couldn't be possible if I didn't develop the skill to teach people. Right. So you have to develop, it's a different type of skill, but you have to develop that if you want to eventually be able to step away and the company is not dependent on Lotfi.
Do you think that should be my first hire? Like finding a program coach?
The answer to that question depends on that. Google sheet you'll make of all three of those columns.
Yeah.
Like you figure out what lever can you do now that takes, less effort for you to hire someone, but has the biggest impact. And that's your biggest link, the biggest like weakness, right? The broken link of your chain.
Wait,
is
so
going to be
less.
what can you do that takes you less time, that saves you the most time? Like, what can you train that takes you less time to train someone that will save you the most time? And you start with those things first, right? So it's like if I help someone answer all of my support emails, by the way, that takes me 4 hours a week. That's 10% of my time. I can teach someone how to do that relatively quickly, and then I'm going to save this amount of money. So that's the biggest lever that's going to save me time. Next is this, right? Because like, say you're saying to be you is hard because you have to look at accounts, you have to ask questions, you have to get on one-on-one calls with people, whatever all those things are. If that's the thing that takes you a ton of time, it's going to take you time to teach someone that. So figure out the smaller things first that are going to save you the most time. Start with those. And then you figure out the bigger pieces. And you go, well, this is the most crucial piece. I'm going to have to start with that next. Right. So that's just auditing bottlenecks, but that's all your business should ever do. You identify your bottlenecks.